With one of the most ancient civilizations in Latin America, Peru has a great natural, cultural and historic beauty. The fusion of native populations with those of European cultural origin created a new and rich social fabric. However, it is also a country characterized by social difficulties. Recent history has been marked by violence, popular reactions to often authoritarian and corrupt governments. Increasing disparity between rich and poor, inadequate education and health care, compounded by ineffective state policies, are realities that not only echo in Peru, but throughout the continent, and risk undermining Peru's traditional values, as well as its social fabric.
Creo que uno de los elementos que más corroe el tejido social.
I think one of the elements that is eating away the social network is not poverty itself. It is the unjust distribution of riches. Governments should move forward differently to better distribute the wealth among the poor.
A ver cómo realmente a los pobres se hace una mejor distribución de la riqueza en primer lugar.
Obviously, another important element is education. It should show and lead people to understand the enormous mystery of their dignity. In this issue, the Church is playing a fundamental role.
¿No? Abrirle a la persona la comprensión del misterio enorme de su dignidad.
In addition to their calling to married life and to forming a family, the Church must reveal to couples the great dignity to their vocation as a community of faith and life.
Como comunidad de fe y de vida.
I think there is no reason why a life, which is a great possession in itself, need be sacrificed, even as a result of poverty.
Ni siquiera por una razón de pobreza.
Amongst the most respected traditional values of the Peruvian people is the respect for life, the inalienable dignity granted from the moment of conception. This concept is reflected in the majority of Latin American constitutions. This respect for life at all stages of human existence predates the same understanding that arrived at Catholicism 5 centuries ago. It comes from a legacy of native cultures who have always considered life and fertility sacred gifts.
El problema del aborto en América Latina, en particular,
What is serious about the problem of abortion in Latin America is not only that a woman who is in need has to abort, has to kill her own child. It has become a characteristic of the whole culture. Effectively, death becomes a social solution to some of our problems.
Que la muerte sea solución social para algunos de nuestros problemas.
Having an abortion means yielding to the pessimistic message that killing an unborn child is a synonym of progress. Therefore, a child does not represent the hope of a better future or a benefit for the entire species. It becomes a burden.
Una riqueza para todo el género humano, sino una carga.
This situation demands that we work for life. Obviously, we try to help the woman herself, helping her find solutions to avoid abortion and working so that society opts for life and not for death.
Most Peruvians, even those living in poverty and in need, anticipate the gift of life with love and hope. However, the public debate on abortion remains contentious, with groups promoting the pro-abortion campaigns publishing materials claiming it to be a legal practice and a woman's right.
Defending life has always faced this problem. There are organizations with hidden agendas which try to destroy the family. These institutions have worked actively to implement abortion in Latin America for the last 50 years. If we consider Africa, Asia and Latin America, we can see their inhabitants have been used as guinea pigs, mainly in Latin America, in Central America, in countries like Peru or Bolivia, where the person, the woman, can be easily deceived. Even organizations have been deceived. It has not been difficult to practice abortions or to open illegal centers with the necessary equipment to be able to make such practices. Over the last years, as the debate has sharpened, the Church has found itself increasingly at the center, working with pro-life movements to protect the family.
The healthcare worker's office is the stage on which we clearly see this problem played out. It is here that the Peruvian mother, pregnant and in need, looks for professional assistance, care for the life inside her, a place where she can express her fears and needs.
Soy ginecobstetra desde hace 9 años.
I've been a gynecologist obstetrician for 9 years, and during this time I have lived very intense experiences, from the moment pregnancy starts until birth. Many women come to my office every day. Some of them are really happy to be pregnant, but others are nervous or worried, either because they are poor or because they are alone. They look for abortion.
Buscan el aborto. Si no son ellas,
Many times there are mothers who come looking for a solution for their teenage daughters. One of the most important and efficient means is to show them, through an ultrasound scan, that the baby is alive, that it has a body, and that it shows signs of life at every stage.
que su bebé da señales en todo momento.
There are those who advise abortion as the easy solution, especially for the poor, suggesting that poverty should be the determining factor driving solutions to women's reproductive health. These people adamantly ignore the psychological, emotional, and physical impact on the mothers, which has led an increasing number of medical professionals with an understanding of the reality and impact of abortion to adopt an ethical position against abortion.
Desde el punto de vista de profesional,
From the professional point of view,
colegas profesionales,
when I share ideas with my colleagues,
la ciencia
I always tell them that a science without conscience is an incomplete science.
existe en la medida
Science exists as long as it contributes to man's health and well-being, so there must be a conscience, which helps place limits on science. There is a considerable number of colleagues who feel obliged to perform practices against life, and I always say the same.
cada una de estas prácticas
Every practice does not solve the root problem. The solution has to do with a proper education and proper information.
Por otro lado, desde el punto de vista científico,
From a scientific point of view, abortion has not been able to reduce maternal deaths in the world. Contraceptives have not improved women's health, and sterilization has only caused more problems.
traído es más problemas a la mujer.
Peruvian Catholics have not only expressed views in favor of life, but have also committed themselves to helping those in need. Key medical treatment centers in poor neighborhoods are Catholic institutions that support pregnant women, ensuring they receive both the medical care they need as well as impartial advice. Every pregnancy is a challenge, more especially because the mother is often underage, single, or comes from a dysfunctional family. Reasons enough for a holistic approach whereby the support offered is geared to meeting every mother's individual needs, ensuring a birth free of fear and despair and the chance of a motherhood filled with joy.
El trabajo que hacemos aquí, básicamente con pacientes que
Here we work with patients who, for one reason or another, basically want to have an abortion. These women come here looking for professional help, and they directly express they would rather not have their babies. Some of them feel that they cannot cope, Others feel pressed by families or society. Others have health problems, and others have been raped. We have helped some very young girls under these circumstances. We try to deal with each case in an individual and personal way. We try to communicate with the person rather than with the situation that has brought her here. First, we try to help the woman to identify herself as a mother. When she manages to assume that what she has in her womb is her own child, she faces the situation with a different attitude. Our main goal is to challenge their perspective, to help them stop thinking about their problems, which have made them consider an abortion. We want to help them find other solutions. And when we find mechanisms to change their situation, they start finding a way to get rid of the problem. Although often their reality does not change, we cannot solve their problems. I was very sad when I came here. I talked to the doctor. I told her my problems, and she told me not to worry, that things would settle down in the future. They gave me good advice. They supported me, and I continued coming here until my baby was born. And now I'm here, happy with my daughter. I came here in the morning. The doctor helped me a lot, and they assisted me really well. Thanks be to God, there were no complications, because the doctor was there. I'm very happy with my baby, and with the help they offered me. They also did all the tests to me. My baby was born at 8 o'clock in the morning, and her name is Andrea. Thank you.
Gracias.
Peru's abortion industry attracts considerable attention, yet it remains a demeaning business, a procedure that lasts minutes, yet violates Peruvian law, that kills a child and risks a mother's life. And though illegal, newspapers continue to be full of advertisements for abortion clinics. In this underworld, there are, however, Catholics who, in spite of scarce economic resources, apply similar advertising methods to attract those very same women seeking an abortion, but to a different end. But this time they offer no abortion advice, but accurate information, access to practical resources and support to avert a tragedy, and so hope these girls discover the precious gift of motherhood.
América Latina es un continente católico, su sustrato es un sustrato cristiano.
Latin America is a Catholic continent. It has a Christian base. Thanks be to God, the value of life is understood. But today, we certainly feel an increase of secularization, which undermines this Christian understanding and moral values.
Y también los valores morales como el valor de la vida que se encuentra presente en nuestro pueblo.
There are people who think of saying no to their pregnancy, and they have chosen a way which only leads them to fear, pain, and death. This is the path to abortion. It is something dark, illegal. And for people who are Catholic and believe in God, this condemns us. It means killing a human being.
Peruvian culture of life is evident in a number of institutions and laws historically established to recognize and protect life from the moment of conception. Peru's Obstetrician Women's Association, a case in point. Members are bound by an ethical and legal framework in the conduct of their professional duties, which promotes life and ensures mothers have a happy and healthy pregnancy.
El primer artículo de nuestro Estatuto del Colegio de Obstetricia del Perú.
The first article of the Peruvian Obstetrician Association statutes states that life should be defended from the beginning. The beginning of life is the union of both gametes. As science shows, we consider that life begins when an egg and a spermatozoid join together. Therefore, the first article recognizes that life starts at the moment of conception. We are aware that presently the defense of life has taken another path, and that few professionals and associations have decided to confront this challenge. We, as the Obstetrician Women's Association in Peru, as long as we are in force, hope to continue keeping defending life as one of our priorities. The defense of life means saying no to abortion under any circumstances, saying no to any method of abortion or medication to interrupt implantation or conception.
De medicamentos que interrumpan la nidación ni la fecundación.
These professional women committed to life work to strengthen parental bonds between mother, child and family. By supporting the embryo's development and promoting an atmosphere of joy and hope for the pregnancy, they strengthen the woman's self-esteem, especially her sense of privilege and responsibility that must come with the carrying of a life. In addition, they offer medical advice, information on life skills, hygiene, as well as training in preparation for the birth and subsequent feeding. Although the surroundings in which the pregnancy comes to term might not be ideal, these professionals help mothers find, in maternity, the reason and the strength to overcome any difficulties.
La acción de la Iglesia, no solamente de esta comisión episcopal.
Job of the Church, not only of the Episcopal Commission, but also one of every bishop in each diocese, is to establish good relationships with the different departments of state, at the central and regional governments, the National Congress, or the Mayor's office. The Church has to help them be aware that defending life means defending the most valuable heritage of a nation, their own children. Our job is to help governments become conscious that to legislate in favor of life is to legislate in favor of Peru, in favor of the present and the future.
Pro-life advocates are working to assure that public authorities adopt a position in defense of the life of the unborn person, as well as protect the expectant mother. Peruvian pro-lifers rely on an important group of legislators who have been consistent in defending what they consider to be legally correct, morally founded policies that represent the common good.
Mi labor dentro de la política se ha suscrito a defender siempre los derechos. Y en este caso,
my job in politics has always considered the defense of rights, and in this case, the principal right, the right to life.
Principalmente evitar que
Our job here in the Congress of the Republic is to try to prevent the approval of legal efforts which threaten life, such as the legalization of abortion. The Constitution states that the unborn child enjoys full human rights. The first article establishes that a person is the most important being, and we consider that the one who is to be born is an individual, a person, and therefore endowed with all rights. He or she is totally different from the mother. It is usually said that the mother has the right to abort because she is the owner of her body. However, that is not established in the Constitution, not even in international or natural laws. The unborn child is a completely different being, a different person from the mother and the father who have conceived him or her.
diferente, es otra persona diferente a la madre y al padre que los han gestado.
The abortion debate is not only a theoretical problem, A pregnant woman who is not respected, educated, informed or protected is a witness to a society that has lost the ability to understand the value of life at all stages. Regardless of the condition into which a life is received, the child must be received with love. It is the community, through its representatives, the state, which has to guarantee the right to life, guarantee conditions for healthy growth, and all the assistance necessary for a successful pregnancy, especially for those who are unprepared or experience complications during their pregnancy. There are many who have devoted their lives to serving these women. They know that every pregnancy is difficult, but for them, abortion is not an option.
This is your baby, but with no clothes or diapers on, because it needs nothing. It is curled up inside your body.
Son los católicos, sean médicos, sean
Catholics are those who are passionate about this work. There may be doctors, lawyers, women's organizations, or prayer groups. I personally experienced that fighting for life here is fighting for life in other regions, in the neighboring countries and in the neighboring continents. There are many people interested in working against life. International organizations, pharmaceutical laboratories, and feminist groups, among others. If we fight together, maybe we can even the playing field in this struggle. We have strength in common, the truth we believe in, our church, the gospel, life. All these things are the values we defend.
en el Evangelio, en la vida.
Esto era más o menos el desarrollo de tu bebé y mira, ya lo tenemos completamente listo y desarrollado.
Support for the sanctity of life in Peru also manifests itself through international solidarity, the maintenance of hospitals, support of educational and social development projects, and especially through all the help that relates to assisting the mother and child. The Catholic charity Aid to the Church in Need has assumed an important role by committing itself to supporting the pro-life cause in Latin America.
Ayuda a la Iglesia Necesitada, una institución de derecho pontificio fundada por el Padre Berenfried van Straten.
Aid to the Church in Need, an institution of pontifical right, founded by Father Berenfried van Straten, established in its statutes that one of the fundamental priorities of our work is to defend families and their values. Our institution has supported tens of initiatives to help, defend, and strengthen families. Peru is a concrete case where we have helped support centers run by bishops and lay people to receive pregnant single mothers who want to give up their child for adoption.
Embarazadas y no deseando tener el hijo, sino darlo como en adopción, se les asesora.
There they are advised psychologically, medically and humanly during the 9 months to see if it is possible to have the mother keep the baby. Otherwise, we try to find suitable families to adopt the baby. These centers involve counseling, professionals in the field of psychology and law, contact with resources. These are important and necessary services.
Nuestra institución ve y observa que estas necesidades son primordiales.
The issue of abortion cannot be limited to a purely scientific or ideological debate. By deciding to end life, the human race in fact undermines a pillar upon which its existence depends. Reproduction is a gift, a privilege, a part of our nature, an essential element without which we cannot survive. The right to life cannot depend on the whim or influence of political or business interests. Many are committed to the challenge of defending life. Many encounter considerable difficulty and often persecution. Their example encourages our hope that humanity can recover an awareness of the value of life and the deep sense of dignity inherent in each human person.